Joey Tanner, big spender, Chris Jenner. I promote the family. Kardashian, see the Benzo, she like, oh, it's happening. Think she called me, cause she never knew her daddy. And my all black, Rhythm Nation Janet, boy, don't make me Jackson. Bodily.
Welcome back to all of those watching inside Ford Field in downtown Detroit. We're in quarter number 2, and it's the Lions who are in possession of the football. Following the fumble recovery, Stafford. Out to the flat for Reddick. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll make this a second down. These Lions and Giants met back in Week 2 last year on a Monday night in Detroit, and it was the Lions who came up with a 24-10 victory. And that would drop the Giants into that spiral from which, as everyone knows, they would ultimately not recover from. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. As we thought they might do here in Week 2 of the preseason, they've left their starting quarterback out there for this second quarter. But I would imagine we will not see him after halftime.
Yeah, this is the time of year you've got to get your backup some reps and make sure you protect your starting quarterback.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. You know, during these preseason games, we're in Week 2 right now, it's always funny looking at our spot charts up here in the booth because with all the guys that might play in this one, it seems to get bigger and bigger each year.
Yeah, we pretty much supersize them, don't we?
Yeah.
Because, you know, remember, they're carrying 90 now. And with the new rules, they'll carry 90 all the way through the preseason before they make the final cut. Oh, yeah, a lot of guys to learn for these games. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
We get a look at Sterling Shepard as he and the rest of the offense march out into place. He's done his part, but so far it's been in a losing effort, so they've got to fix something.
But that doesn't mean changing anything, the way they're throwing the ball around and his catches and production. Keep doing that. They're going to have to fix some things likely on defense to try and slow down their opponents.
But so far he's north of 100 yards receiving. Here's Manning to throw. Over the middle to Beckham. And he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Hey, go 56. 27's to Sam. 27's to Sam.
On first down, Manning. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
So now here in the second week of the preseason, you'd expect the starters play a little bit more than they did in week 1, but not a whole lot.
So if you're an offensive coordinator, what are you looking for?
What you're looking for is things getting cleaned up as you go along, because most of your playbook's probably installed. How well are they handling it?
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jarrett Davis in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Manning gonna throw. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. This, of course, week 2 of the preseason, but we did have a couple of teams that got the extra game. The Hall of Fame game was played on a Thursday this year between Arizona and Dallas.
Yeah, and they welcomed in this year's Hall of Fame class of 2017. And what a
and for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Darius Slay with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about you?
Blunt churning, but he can't get out of the end zone. It's a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Oh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. And he's got some space here. And New York set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And my goodness, another interception. He's picked off at his own 47. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play, but when it doesn't work, oh boy, you wish you hadn't.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
He just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. On the stop that time, it's William Gay. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Red Allison, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one, much more like lead.
Manning able to find OBJ there for a Giants 1st down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, is starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Into the red zone now, Madden. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing is Manning. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. The Giants on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 7. Manning to throw once more. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So here come the Lions now. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Alec Ogletree coming in hard on the blitz. He gets him down for a loss of 4.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Now Blunt. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. So nothing separating these two teams as we head to the break, all square. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. This one of 5 games going on in the NFL on this Friday night, the second week of the preseason. We've got 7 more tomorrow, including Jags, Vikings, and Raiders-Rams, as well as another on Monday night, the Ravens and Colts from Indy. In our game, at the very least, you can't say it's not competitive. All tied up at halftime. And for the call of the second half, we get you back out to Brandon Gaudin.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. And Jones has it over the middle. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnover. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
On the run, Abdullah. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Tackle made that time by B.J. Hill.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long at the outset of this drive. There's Castle. And this is going to be incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half, and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. They'll fake the handoff. Now Lauletta. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands. Guess what?
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return, and the Lions will take over. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Now Castle. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He completes it to Abdullah. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware, a ball may come your way.
Here we go now.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking downfield for Jones. Oh, wide open, complete. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 61 yards. And the Lions have broken our tie as they take the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9, from the receivers. That meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
New York set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. Deep ball, short ball, and that was a deep one there. They were making plays on the football, contesting everything.
We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to give their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get under the Lions' pressure. He's brought down. Kerry Hyder in there to drop him.